Once again, this war takes an unexpected turn as Putin is ambushed by Chechens, who destroyed the positions of Russians in Belgorod. There are also some very controversial political games in America, and it even might join the war in the future. And ultimately, Ukraine directly stated that they will be targeting Putin. But more about all of this in just a couple of minutes. What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. And let's get straight to the point and talk about some ridiculous Russian propaganda. So, today we have this decorated balcony. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because the holidays are coming, so people start putting some Christmas lights and everything. And the guy in Russian apartment building, he decided to show everyone that he is the biggest Z-Patriot in the entire neighborhood. Nobody can or ever will compete with him. But the way I see it is that this entire building now knows exactly who is the most absurd, controversial and ridiculous neighbor is. There is no way I would personally decorate my balcony in this way, but what do I know? So just let me know, you guys, in the comments, if you think these decorations are attractive or not. But okay, it's always time to get serious, and now let's talk about the probability of America joining the war on the side of Ukraine. And then I'll give you brief updates from the south and the east of the country. And first of all, recently America announced another military support package to Ukraine worth of $175 million. And besides many other things, it will include missiles for HIMARS, TOW and HARM, also anti-tank Javelin complexes, 4 million rounds of ammunition and other military-related equipment and vehicles. And even though Americans continue to provide unwavering support to Ukraine pretty much every single month, the total support to Ukraine in the recent several months unfortunately is decreasing and becoming a flat line. And from this next picture you can pretty much clearly see that starting since July of this year, Ukrainians never received the same amount of support as they usually did in the past. And recently, the Republican Party in the US Congress refused to support the bill which will be providing additional support to Ukraine, and Biden is calling this a political game and blackmail. Among the main arguments he is bringing is that Ukraine is pretty much the fortress for the entire NATO alliance in Europe, and if Ukraine falls to Putin most likely will not stop. He will continue marching across Europe and target already at that point some NATO countries. And at that point, America will just have to join the war, and it will be already American soldiers fighting against Russians. But eventually, America and Ukraine did sign a joint memorandum about the production of military equipment on the territory of Ukraine, which, to be honest, is better, because it significantly reduces the time it takes for this military equipment to arrive to the front lines, and just Ukrainians themselves will be able to acquire this knowledge and technologies. And ultimately, Zelensky did mention approximately 2 to 3 weeks ago is that Ukraine considers Putin as a legitimate military target, and if opportunity such arises, Ukraine will take advantage of it, basically pretty much directly saying that Ukraine is targeting Putin. But okay, and now as promised, let me give you an extremely quick update from the south of the country before moving to the east, and also talking about the ambush by the Chechens. But first of all, guys, if you do appreciate this style of daily updates, if you do not mind, and this does help a lot, can you please subscribe to my channel and like this video? Also, next week, extremely personal and very special episodes are coming, and I'm sure you would not want to miss them. You can also follow me on Instagram, I'm traveling right now, so you can just follow along, the link is down below. And so yes, first of all, as we go to the Black Sea, right here is the video from the Russian Mi-8 helicopter trying to destroy a Ukrainian drone, the naval one obviously, which is just sailing in the straight line, and still Russians are not able to destroy it. The next video that we have is that shows Russians are using drones now primarily at night, which are equipped with thermal cameras, which makes it practically impossible for the living creatures, for the people, to hide from them. They will see you. And that is pretty unfortunate. Also, in addition to that, Russians started to paint their Shahid drones recently in black color, so it's even more complicated to spot them in the dark night. And this video might be a good wake-up call to the Ukrainian leadership and officials. Something should be done about this. And just in general, speaking about the drones, in the last 24 hours, Ukrainians were able to intercept 15 out of 18 Russian Shahid drones. And then in this next map, you are able to see from which locations Russians are primarily launching these drones. And one of their most favorite ones is Crimea. And the targets the final destinations of Russian drones, which, as you can see, also is approximately central and central western part of Ukraine. And also, speaking about Crimea, now you can clearly see why Ukrainians need to deoccupy this peninsula as early as possible, because this provides Russians with an incredibly favorable position in their future military aggression against Ukraine, both for the infantry, military vehicles, logistics, transportations, and even something as launching drones and missiles. And Ukrainians, on the other hand, were able to destroy a concentration of Russian infantry along with their assault groups located in Stara Zburivka. And now, let's go to the most intriguing part of the video, is that Chechens ambushed Russian positions in Russian city Belgorod. And then, finally, in the very end, just a couple of words about the update from the east of Ukraine. And first of all, we just have to make a stop once again in the capital of Russia, Moscow, where the local electrical factory has always spontaneously got caught on fire. And yes, it does produce electric components for also military-related equipment and vehicles. That is why it is just a coincidence that another military object in Russia self-ignited. Nothing to see here. But then even another way further sabotage happened also on the territory of Russia. Specifically, I'm talking about here about the city called Tyumen, as you can see, very far from the front lines. And allegedly, Ukrainian partisans were able to destroy a local electrical station which was powering military barracks of the Russian conscripts. But yes, without a doubt, the most significant event that happened recently is that Chechens attacked and, as they claimed, destroyed the positions of Russians located in neighboring region to Ukraine, Belgorod. And they even released and showed us this video. Kadyrov himself published this video, which shows that Chechen soldier is shooting a missile against the tower, with allegedly Ukrainians stationing in this tower and their radio electronic equipment, even though obviously we can see that the tower is empty. And they could not even destroy it, which makes it video a complete failure. It is just a total cringe to post this humiliating for themselves video. But another, the most important question here is, how are they even talking about Ukrainians being located in Belgorod, specifically in this literally standing in the open field tower with no protection, nothing, no forces, no infantry, no military vehicles, nothing in this tower or in surrounding areas. So it's like, what? Are they imagining that Ukrainians just crossed the border, climbed on that tower and started just to collect the intelligence, hoping they will not be seen? That is a total absurd statement to make. In reality, what I think actually happened is that Chechens, for some reason, decided to attack the positions of Russians, because yes, this is a military-related tower, and most likely it does belong to Russians, simply because it is located on the territory of Russia. And so, like, literally, I have no idea why would they do it. Is it just for the video, to publish it and say it? Look at us, we're glorious warriors, repelling the attacks of Ukrainians. Or was it something to make a statement, to show the Russian conventional forces, the Russian army, that Chechens are still there, and we, friends, are not your friends at all. So, do not consider us as fresh meat that you can just simply launch into assault just like you do in your fresh conscripts in Avdiivka. We are still holding some grudge against you for 2 Chechen wars. Please let me know in the comments what do you think they are thinking about. I'll be very curious to see what you guys assume. But now just literally final words about the update from the east, and then we're gonna wrap things up. And so yes, first of all, according as always to the report by the Institute for the Study of War, Russians continued their offensive along Kupiansk-Svatove-Kreminna front line with no confirmed gains in this area, neither in Bakhmut surrounding areas. But there was some significant combat actions to the north of Avdiivka. Specifically, Russians were pushing a lot from Krasnohorivka in the direction to Stepove, and as you can see from this map, they indeed were able to advance a little bit to the north of Stepove. And besides that, according to the same report, Russians were also extremely active in the southern areas of Avdiivka, specifically in industrial zone, and they also made some minor gains, which are not yet confirmed by this map. And as you can see, guys, unfortunately I still have to censor most of the footage in my video, because YouTube is simply being YouTube. It does not allow free journalism in this on their website. But if you do want to support my work and also see fully uncensored episodes of The Russian Dude, and also get additional footage which I never show on YouTube, please go ahead and check my Patreon. The link is down below, and there is 1 week of free access for every single one of you to try it, to see if you like it or not. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel if you like this style of content. Thank you so much, my Patreons, and see you tomorrow.